So Nintendo is full steam ahead on making movies of their franchises, with first being the Mario movie, which took a couple years to make, but it finally released to pretty good acclaim. We also got an announcement for a live-action Zelda movie and a Mario sequel thing. We're not sure if it's a sequel exactly, but it's at least another Mario film set in the same universe. And honestly, I think one of the series that could really work with a movie or a TV show is actually Xenoblade, but not in the way you might be thinking initially. So I want to explain my reasoning, and fair warning, there will be some light spoilers for the Xenoblade series. Just some small things here and there, nothing too crazy, but at the same time, if you haven't played the games, I recommend you probably tune out, unless you don't care about these small spoilers. But anyway, let's just discuss why I think a Xenoblade movie or a show could actually work out pretty well for Nintendo. So yeah, a Xenoblade movie or so. When I'm saying this, I'm not talking about like a full-on retelling of like one of the games, because look, these are massive games. Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, they're massive games. I will be talking about X in a separate thing. I think X could actually work the best as a movie, but anyway, still, it's a massive game, and you would need to do a lot of work to it to like shrink it down. You would maybe have to do multiple parts to make it really long, which is fine. It can be long movies. I believe Avatar, the blue people one, is like known for being long and having all the special effects, and actually that's a good base point for what I can see like a Xenoblade movie, having those special effects. Like, it would need like a lot of work, maybe that's too much for Xenoblade, but I'm just saying it could work. But I'm not talking about that, or retelling. I think a movie could work really well if it's like a side story thing that expands upon something we see in the games. So I've seen when some people talk about this, maybe we see something involving Klaus and the experiment. We could have a whole movie dedicated to that. That could, I think, fill a good 2 hours, it wouldn't be that long. And it is something we know about, but it could be expanded upon more in a movie. That would be cool. Also, I'm looking at the Xenoblade subreddit for other people's ideas about it, and someone suggested maybe we could get a movie about the destruction of Colony 6 from Xenoblade 1. Gato could be the main character, and with him sacrificing himself to fend off an army of Mechon, and instead of Starla beginning her journey, We could also see something from Vandam in Xenoblade 2, how he ended up becoming a mercenary and the foes he had to fight. And this guy, he didn't have a good idea for Xenoblade 3, but I think we could work like a movie talking about the Mobius, like their origins, how they came to be, the very beginning of how they took control, and then like setting up potential heroes, like, to come in and save the day eventually. It doesn't have to be like the full retellings of the game, because those are massive, though I do think those could work. But having like these side story things that expand upon stuff we already know that happens in Xenoblade, but like, seeing it in a bigger scale, I think would actually be really cool, and that's where I could see a movie working. But I think the best case scenario actually for a movie working would actually be Xenoblade X. And this Xenoblade X could also work for a TV show. I'm going to be talking about the TV shows in a bit. But Xenoblade X probably has the best chance of working as a movie, because there's not too much plot in it. Like, there's plot and it's still long, but a lot of it is like side stuff that you can trim out, and you could make it more concise, and you could make it a pretty good movie. I think, all the sci-fi stuff, it leads more on that than the other Xenoblade games, which have sci-fi, but it also has a bit of fantasy, magical stuff, Well, Xenoblade X, that has like full-on sci-fi, so I think that could work really well. But it could also work for a TV show, specifically something like maybe an anime or something like that. I think Xenoblade X also works really well for this, because look, a anime or TV show, whatever, could probably work for any of the Xenoblade games. You could tell the story, as long as you need. The season 1 of like a Xenoblade 1 TV show could be, the finale could be about finding Melia or whatever, and then season 2 is like about Sulk basically dying, but not really, Like, I don't know, they could do something with that, but that would only basically be fully plot, with maybe some side things here and there. Maybe they could have an episode dedicated to like side stories or side quests. But I think the best case scenario would be Xenoblade X, because they could do a bit of both. They can have slice of life stuff where you see random people's lives in Mira, you know, you see them deal with the challenges of this new planet, but you also see in some episodes the plot progress. Like I think there could actually be some good like balancing between that, and I think Xenoblade X has the best potential for both not just a movie but a TV show as well. But that's not to say that the other Xenoblade stuff couldn't work at all, you know. They could work. It would just take a little bit more effort, more time to, you know, craft them into a movie or a TV show, you know. I do think that Xenoblade could work, you know. Now, will we see a Xenoblade movie? Probably not, at least not for like a long time. We'll probably see a Donkey Kong movie, maybe even a Metroid Soul movie, I don't know. Like, we'll probably see many other franchises from Nintendo be adapted to movies or TV shows before. Heck, I even think Star Fox has a bigger chance than Xenoblade. But I think Xenoblade has the biggest potential for a movie just because it does have a story, you know. It is the most story franchise in Nintendo's history, you know. It actually has a narrative going on, and it could work really well to be adapted, you know, because I mean, I guess, you know, it's less creative, you know, film directors or whatever, the script writers, you know, they would have to be more constrained to the plot of Xenoblade, unlike these other things where they can do kind of their own thing. But that's why I'm proposing the side story thing for the movies, because they can still kind of mostly do their own thing, but just take inspiration from like these events that we know about in the game, but like expand upon them. So I think that would work really well, but again, I know it would be a little bit more restricting, but I mean, that's just what I think, you know. Also, before we go, would a live action Xenoblade movie or so work? I think it could, but honestly, I would rather see it be animated. But I do think a live action could work just because of the fact that these are more realistic characters, you know, than other series from Nintendo. You know, probably the other closest one is like the Zelda series, and that's even only sometimes, you know, other times it's like cartoony. But I would probably prefer an animated thing for Xenoblade. Heck, I even had a dream one time where specifically Xenoblade 2 was like animated in like a anime style, and it looked really good. I wish I could like actually show you guys what I saw in my dream, but that's how I imagine it. But I think a live action thing could very well work because again, it is more human body proportions, all that stuff. But I don't think we will see again a movie or a TV show for quite a while, because I think the way it could work is it would have a lot of budget into it, you know, and it would look something like the Avatar films, you know, the Blue People ones, and that's a whole lot of money to dedicate to Xenoblade, which I love Xenoblade, but knowing Nintendo, you know, they would rather spend that money on literally anything else, even like something like Metroid, they would rather have that. But I think it could work. We may even see it down the line if Nintendo continues to make films, you know, and like they have way more money. I mean, they already have a ton of money, but like have even more money piling in. I definitely think it's possible, but otherwise, let me know what you think about this idea in the comments down below. Do you think a Xenoblade movie or so could work? I think it could, but you know, what do I know, I guess? I don't make movies, and this is just a short video because, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about this for quite a while now, actually, since I started like making my YouTube channel. Why I think it could work, so hopefully you don't mind too much. But thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, play some Xenoblade, and I'll catch you guys next time for more. Peace, bye everyone.